refuse to be watchmen and watchwomen.
Yeah.
That we will take power for real.
As we convince each other as Africans, do you think we'll ever get to a stage where, because you speak a lot about cognitive dissonance, and most people want to make it sound as if it's something complicated, is the easiest of concepts for people to understand, but they just try to make it as if it's difficult, because in itself it's an internal conflict with yourself to say, let's not admit it, but we see it, but let's not admit it. I mean, so...
No, they even say, when you tell them how enslaving the workplace is, they even tell you, yes, I know, I feel it all the time, but I need this work to pay for my car and to pay for my house. We didn't need to pay for a car and a house before they came. We ran systems that didn't require you to suffer that much at individual level. But you still have people today who come and defend and tell you capitalism is good for us. No, it's good for you, maybe because you're making millions. Which is another thing religion makes you to be. Very self-centered. Look at the songs. I am saved in the name of Christ. I, on the judgment day, will be. Kibe jwale ka Elia. Kibe jwale ka Elia. Ka koloi e fofang. Mhla wangi susa la wangi beka la. Antlhatswa ka madi a hae. There are very few re's in these songs. It's a very individualistic religion. Very self-centered.
It gives birth to Bushiri.
Of course, it gives birth to people like Abu Bushiri.
So,
who, by the way, if that God was really true and a God, should be dead by now. For all the damage that he has caused. And then people will say, oh, don't even say that. Malawians will say, yo, we know him from witchcraft. Don't even say that out loud. Oh, no. Let me tell you how witchcraft works. I've never gone to anybody to require for umuti, for medicine, to do evil to someone else. Therefore, I have never given a passage for witchcraft. That's the danger. That's why I say to people, be careful who you consult. Go by opening passages into your life. Because I don't use witchcraft, I don't fear witchcraft. It doesn't work on me, truly. Because if it did, I would be dead by now. I know so many people have wished me dead. And I'm sure they've even tried to use witchcraft. It doesn't work on me.
We are on the Outside podcast and our resources are very limited and we don't want to extend and risk the unfortunate thing of cutting the podcast. So, if I'm an African and there's another African and we want to coexist, like break down structures. So I've always said, can religious people, specifically let me talk about, because in South Africa, most of them are Christians. Can Christians use their church? You spoke about an African who used Catholicism in their favor and not be used the other way around. Can these churches, these buildings, these gatherings they have on Sundays and other services, of course, that they have, can it be used to empower African people? Let me just give an example. If a church denomination has about 100 people, they donate money. Whether it's a month or every quarter, those 100 people, they build churches with the pastor. They build houses for any of them, so they do not enrich only the pastor. Is it even a sacrilege to suggest such a thing to Christians? Because I'm looking at, let's not dismantle the whole structure. Let's use the structure to help us as Africans. Is it even possible? And suggesting that, would it antagonize Christians?
Of course, it will antagonize Christians. Listen, I made the example of Queen Jingambande of Ndongo and Matamba. She went to Luanda, today Angola, and converted to Catholicism because that was the religion of the governor, and allowed herself to be baptized, and even took on the Christian name of the wife of the governor. Isn't it? You have to take their name if you convert. We said so. Ana de Souza. She knew in her heart, though, that I'm only doing this to buy time so the Portuguese don't attack Ndongo. But when it did happen that they attacked Ndongo, she came out open, threw that away, embraced her spirituality, went back to consult spiritual mediums to rebuild Matamba. That's why we say Queen of Ndongo and Matamba, because they rummaged Ndongo, the Portuguese. She rebuilt Matamba from anew, not through Catholicism, but through African spirituality. The factors say, oh no, towards the end of her life she converted. You know what's said about our stories is we read them from a wide perspective. She converted because that's when colonialism was gaining traction. Angola was now being chiseled as a colony. And she wanted Matamba to continue. She wanted her sister to take over from her. So again, she converted to buy time. Did she die a Catholic? No, because if you look at her life, it will tell you there is no way she died as a Catholic. Because as she built Matamba, she always would go to the medium, which is how we ruled, by the way. It was the king, the queen, whoever was at the throne, and immediately after that, it was the spiritual medium who would then advise and say, ancestors are saying this. Throughout her life, she used the spiritual medium to make decisions. Can today's Christians do that? No, because they have totally converted. That's the thing. They are sold. They truly believe in heaven and hell, and they are so scared of going to hell. I mean, I've had people I was Christians with walk up to me and say, when we are burning in hell, you shall remember these days. And I'm just like, that's a threat. 1, 2, we are saying it like you are enjoying it, which is really the downside of religion. It makes you so pompous that you can just wish suffering on another person. They are so scared of heaven and hell that there is no way they are going to use religion for spiritual purposes, because they do everything that religion asks them to do. So, sadly, that's the downside. Because remember, religion demonizes who we are. It says whatever we do and believe in is demonic. It's only Catholics who don't. Maybe Catholics are the ones, and she had converted to Catholicism. Maybe Catholics are the ones who could easier, be influenced like that to do what Njingambande did, to say, use this thing for the liberation of our people. But in general, other Christians, no, they are sold line, hook and sinker into this thing. That's why they even stand in the streets, Moss. And try and recruit you.
Please draw the distinction between spirituality and religion, and expand on the issues that you wanted to expand on, and make it not so complicated so people can understand that there is a distinction.
The big thing I want to say, because we are almost running out of time, in spirituality you consult, mostly we consulted at group level. We are living in a village called Amashe. Doesn't exist, I'm making it. And our cows are dying, and no matter what we do, it just continues. And then while we are looking at that, now we are seeing an outbreak of all our 10-year-olds having boils. We are going to consult the national media. First, the Queen Mother, because she keeps the national altar, must tell us what is going on, what are the ancestors saying. Then we'll consult the national media. Then she will call the other mediums and say, people, let's climb a mountain, let's find out communal things. We've reduced this to personal things. I want promotion, I'm going to consult. They will give me medicine and say, drink this, wash with this. I don't do those things. I fight with my ancestors at the altar. They will give me the answers. I don't believe a stranger will tell you things my ancestors haven't told me, unless they've been telling me but I haven't been listening. And mostly in those instances, you don't even consult, because you'll meet a stranger and they will say, this is what is happening with you. I had a white woman. I've never talked to her about my life at all. We work together in holding the National Development Bank, the BRICS Bank, accountable. She woke up 2 months ago and she said, this is the dream I had about you. I'm white. I don't even know if I should be doing this with you. We've never talked. This is not how we believe as a people, but this dream was so real, I feel I should tell you. It's about my mom. And I realized my mom has been trying to tell me something, I've not been listening. But that dream came to be an assurance. Did I have to consult somebody? No. A total stranger who's not even an African came to give me assurance. That's the fundamental difference. In spirituality, the answers will come from your people. At your home altar, this is where we fight it. consultation will come really for things that are beyond you and almost all the time that are communal. Second fundamental difference is that in spirituality, it's people who've lived this life, the living dead, so they know. Above them, they're both male and female. Above them are what we call deities. Unomkhubulwane for Zulu people is a deity of fertility, of virginity. That's why they have umhlanga during the first rains and the first planting, the first fruits. Because she is the goddess of fertility. You have uNkulunkulu, who is the god of thunder. Again, amongst the deities, both genders are there. The originator's sexuality is never disclosed. Mangit you can't tell me he's a male.